what's going on? It's a crack. Sunday Nathan coming to you guys with another Call of Duty Black Ops 3 gameplay. Today I got a HG40 gameplay on the map Skyjacked by my little brother X Ghost. He goes 39-12, not too bad. Also gets some pretty cool kills with the Ripper. I love the Ripper Specialist. If you haven't used it, just use it. Like, I even used it, I even saved it as one of my permanent unlocks because I just enjoy using it so much. It is a lot of fun. Anyways, what I want to talk about today though is the Xbox One S, as you can tell by the title, which Microsoft released earlier this week at E3. Alright, so the Xbox One S has been redesigned and no longer looks so incredibly ugly, as, at least in my opinion, the Xbox One S was huge and incredibly ugly. Speaking of huge, the Xbox One S is now 40% smaller than the original Xbox. 40% smaller. 40% smaller. That's right, 40% smaller. The original Xbox One S, like the box that it came in was kind of like that box that your fridge or new dishwasher came in, and then as a kid you would build a fort in your living room with it and play in there for a couple of days. That's how big the original Xbox One X was. The Xbox One was. This is gonna be crazy saying these names because it's just confusing. Microsoft better price naming, but also the naming I think makes a little bit more sense now, which we'll talk about a little later. Anyways, Xbox One now has a stand as well. Xbox One S, excuse me, has a stand so you can stand it up vertically on its side, which I'm very, very excited about. I like to do with my controller, with my consoles personally, but again, this is going to be for specific people. Some people might not care about it. A lot of people put it right in their cabinet, but I really, really like this. Also, the Xbox One S has an integrated power supply. Finally has an integrated power supply. I am so excited about this. By the way, Xbox One S is 40% smaller and has an integrated power supply. So this means there's no more massive power brick you gotta hide behind your TV. Thank you so much, Microsoft. Really, really appreciate that. I want to say that a lot in this video, actually. Thank you, Microsoft, because this is just amazing. I'm so excited about the Xbox One S. Anyways, yeah, I'm so excited to the point where I actually would consider buying one now. Also, the One S has HDR, which is pretty exciting. It might sound a little silly, but hopefully it'll be a picture popping up on screen as long as my editor is not being stupid. HDR is high dynamic range. HDR lets us move into a much higher range of colors, so dark looks darker, black's a much deeper black, light's lighter. You can see the picture here. Yeah, I'm not gonna go too much into detail. It looks pretty freaking amazing. You're gonna love it. It's gonna improve gaming so much. The quality of gaming, it's just awesome. Very, very excited about this. Also, the HDMI port has changed from 1.4 to 2.0, which supports the HDR already mentioned, but it also supports 4K. So for those of you that have bought a 4K TV, for the 4 of you out there that have bought 4K TV and just spent a crap ton of money on it, you can now have 4K Ultra HD video and Blu-ray playback for videos. But Microsoft did not say anything about gaming, which is a little unfortunate because I was really hoping we'd have 4K gaming, which would make a little bit more sense. But you can now watch your videos in 4K. Yeah. Other goodies that the One S has are an IR blaster, a front-facing USB. Thank you, Microsoft. This is just very basic things, but just these basic things make a big deal. Thank you. Just a round of applause. Also, the Xbox One S comes in 3 different storage options: 500 gigabytes for $299, a 1 terabyte model, which is 1,000 gigabytes, by the way, for $349, and a whopping 2 terabytes for $399. Now, let me remind you, the original Xbox One started at $499. Now, yes, it did have a Kinect, but who really cares about the Kinect anyways? JK, Microsoft, we love you, but seriously, who really cares about the Kinect? Which, by the way, they didn't even talk about the Kinect at the event, which was rather funny. They really didn't mention anything about it. Anyways, also, it has a connection button for your controllers and the front of as well on the front of the console, which is pretty nice. Speaking of controllers, I already made a separate video on controllers. We can check out the link in the video description below where I just ranted about the controllers. Actually, I didn't rant, but I'm really excited about the controllers. You can customize them. It is pretty awesome. Little design changes. We'll talk a little bit about the controllers here. Textured grips, Bluetooth for enhanced range. It can be used with other compatible devices. 6.5 more finely tuned for better accuracy, which will be really interesting to see how big of a difference this is. If it's going to be very minimal or if it's actually going to be a really, really big thing. What I'm really excited about though is the Xbox Design Lab, where you can custom make your own controller. Again, I already made another video about this. Check it out in the video description down below. The original Xbox One 500 gigabyte is still available for $299, but as I already mentioned, the new Xbox One S is starting at $299. So I smell a price drop coming to the Xbox One original, or maybe they're just going to totally discontinue it altogether, which will be rather interesting to see. Hopefully they don't. Hopefully you can still pick it up maybe for like $199 or something, like the original Xbox 360 or the Xbox 360 I think it is. I think that's what it's called. So hopefully they will do that with the Xbox One. Anyways, the 2TB One S, by the way, guys, is also a limited edition version of the Xbox One S. So you'll be able to pick that up in August for a period of time. I think this will probably be the most popular console. First off, it's only $399, which is the same price as the PlayStation 4. But I really feel the 2TB is going to be a big deal because for the fact that everything is moving towards digital downloads and stuff. I'm not a huge fan of digital downloads. I like the physical disc. I like putting it in, but it is really moving towards that. So I think that 2TB is going to be a much better option. I don't really see a lot of people. I personally wouldn't pick up a 500GB console anymore just because there's just not enough space on there. It's getting to the point where it's probably just not worth it, especially like I said, with all this, with everything going digital, you're just going to prefer to have that larger space. Now, don't worry. The One S does not make your Xbox One obsolete. Everything, the games, controllers, all the accessories you bought still work. Well, unless you bought a skin for the Xbox One S or the One, it won't work with the One S. But your controllers, your games, all that good stuff is still going to work with the Xbox One S. So if you already bought controllers and stuff, you don't got to worry about it. But I don't really see a lot of people that bought the Xbox One. Well, actually, they might. Buying the Xbox One S, unless, you know, a lot of people, HDR is very important to them. Also, the smaller footprint of the Xbox One S is also a pretty big deal if you bought a 4K TV. So there's some things I feel are really gonna entice people away from the Xbox One if you already had it, but I think the One S is definitely targeted towards people that haven't bought a console yet, are still kind of looking at it like, okay, do I get the PS4? My PS3 still works pretty well, or the Xbox 360 works pretty well. Now the One S, I definitely feel, is a much better buying option. Like I already mentioned, I would actually think about buying an Xbox One S. Oh, speaking of obsolete, Microsoft did talk a little bit about Project Scorpio. I believe they said it was going to be 4.5 times more powerful than any console to date. Or maybe it was the Xbox, I forget, but it was 4.5 times more powerful than any, we'll just say Xbox. That is amazing. That is truly amazing, and it will be freaking amazing. And now, like I said, I was going to talk a little bit about the naming scheme. The naming scheme makes a little bit more sense now with the One. It is one platform or one device category, but with lots of different devices. Like the iPhone, we have the iPhone 6s, the iPhone 6s Plus, we have the SE. We'll have different tiers for the Xbox as well. So I think that's going to be, I think that naming system now makes a lot more sense, which I kind of like, which will be really interesting to see if Microsoft actually does that. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think of the Xbox One S in the comment section down below if you guys did enjoy the video. Anyways, guys, this is your boy, Cracker Sudden Death here. I don't know what, boy, what? Anyways, this is your Cracker Sudden Death here, signing out. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.